Midfield, number 14, Amanda Donovan. Defense, number 19, Adriana Fess. Defense, number 20, Alexandria Fess. Midfield, number 21, Amanda Fess. Midfield, number 23, Sam Mosby. Attack number 28, Taylor Dyson. Midfield, number 29, Jade Sain. Midfield, number 30, Alyssa Adams. And in both the Bearcats, number 40, Juliana Dorso. Cincinnati's assistant coaches are Shannon Witzel and Caitlin Price. And the head coach is Gina Thomas Oliver. Fans, get on your feet as we meet the starting lineup for your ECU Pirates.
We welcome you to Greenville, North Carolina, home of one of the newest Division I women's lacrosse programs. The Bearcats are in town to challenge the up-and-coming Pirates of ECU, both making their debut here on the American Digital Network in the inaugural season of the American Athletic Conference sponsoring women's lacrosse. Welcome in to ADN, everybody. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico, and Kit, we had a great matchup a week ago between Florida and Temple. Now a chance to shine the spotlight on these two programs.
That's exactly right. Two programs looking for a victory today. Cincinnati, they've won the last 4 games in a row. ECU has dropped the last 6. Anticipate a good matchup today between the Pirates and the Bearcats.
Take a look at your keys to this matchup. Cincinnati, of course, has had success recently trying to take that on the road.
They are indeed. We mentioned keep the streak. Winners of 4 in a row, off to a good start. 1-0 in the American, but they haven't won on the road. They're 0-4. They need to change that. No better time than the present. In team offense, in past years, the Bearcats have had 1 or 2 on offense, but this year they already have 8 players with double-digit goals.
Meanwhile, for the Pirates program, they opened their doors last year. Now in season 2, how do they continue to make strides?
Well, for ECU, they have to right the ship. They have lost 6 in a row. Their last win was over a month ago. Draw control, always critical. The best defense is a good offense. They need to keep the ball away from Cincinnati in the first half. Important to get off to a good start. They can do this by playing well in the first 30 minutes and putting pressure on a Cincinnati team that is yet to win a road game.
Well, we take a look at some of the players to watch. If you take a look at the numbers for Borzillo, they look like career numbers, but she's having herself a great season.
She is indeed. The junior from Pennsylvania, already one of the most prolific scorers in program history. Second in the team in points and assists. She leads the Bearcats with 39 goals and 31 assists this year.
Meanwhile, she'll be staring down this woman, Christina White, in frame for ECU.
White, the Maryland native, split time between the pipes last season. This year, she has made the cage hers. Coach Barnesmore calls her the bedrock of the Pirates defense. Expect her to be tested early and often by this talented Bearcats offense.
When we come back to Greenville, Pirates and Bearcats meet for just the second time ever. Opening draw is next.
How do you drive impact for 200 years? By doing it boldly. By building a bridge, breaking a barrier, planting a flag, owning a stage. Because here, we learn by doing and believe the status quo was built to be broken. So be proud, be bold, be Cincinnati. We're 2 centuries in, and we're still creating what's next. We are boldly Bearcat.
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it, or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
Week 2 of conference play about to get underway. Welcome back to Greenville. Lincoln Rose, Kip McConico. And for the first time today, a chance to check in down on the pitch with Marilyn Payne.
For this East Carolina team, the focus for the head coaching staff is to continue working more and more athletes into their lineup throughout the game in order to combat the youth that they have. An all freshman and sophomore roster means that these players are gradually getting more and more used to the college game at different levels, and that leads to some inconsistency. So combating that inconsistency has been part of the mission for this coaching staff throughout the course of this season. As for Cincinnati, this game and every game moving forward is about having an offense that is able to make smarter decisions. This is a roster of teams that has more scorers than ever before, and rather than having 1 or 2 scorers and relying on a by-committee structure is a strength for the Bearcats, but better decision making is something that head coach Gina Thomas wants to see her players do.
Marilyn, thank you very much. Obviously, both these programs continue to exceed their goals, continue to take strides. When you look at this program under Gina Thomas, each year they have increased their win total. Last year they claimed 8 victories. Today they could tie that already here in just the second week of conference play.
And what a job Coach Thomas has done. 7 years the head of the Bearcats, the former Ohio State Buckeye. It's all about the little things. When we spoke with her this week, she said we've got to get the ground balls, offense by committee. So far able to do those things, looking for their first road win of the year. These two have met just once previously. Bearcats with a 16-7 victory a year ago.
Opening draw in Greenville. Second ever meeting between these two programs. Of course, ECU last year, the upstart program, colliding with the Bearcats for the first time. It was a 16-7 final.
Bearcats talk about that well-balanced offense and defense, things that they've really been working on, that consistency, trying to complete that offense, now really in full form.
Right now possessed by Borzillo, the junior. And aggressive decision early on by Christina White.
And White coming out of the crease early, able to snag that one. Bearcats, they think if the ball is on the turf, it's theirs. They don't call them ground balls or 50-50 balls. They call them 75-25 balls. They lead the country in GBs, do the Bearcats, but unable to find the back of the net in their first offensive set. Now ECU looking to clear. And consistency, that's an issue when you have young players, making that transition from high school to college. And even though some of these young women played at big-time high school programs across the country, always difficult. We're stepping up to the next level, Division I women's lacrosse.
Opportunity to find that opening advantage here at home. As, again, Resin Pollock, the freshman, with a great look there, but instead Resi and the Pirates backtracking now.
A great save from the senior out of the Garden State Urso, just at the top of her crease. Bearcats unable to clear. Now Pirates with another chance.
Another bite at the apple here. And just excellent defense, making sure that their goalkeeper never had to face a shot there.
Great trail check. Stick protection always paramount. You want to keep it high and tight next to the ear hole. If you hang the stick, a defender, they're going to take it. Seen a lot of play in the midfield early on. These two teams both talented in the center of the field.
For a moment there, thought that Borzillo may have had the wind knocked out of her, but appears to be okay.
Yeah, just got her feet tangled up with the defender. Borzillo is so impressive. Keeps Limestone State native out of Conestoga High School, big-time lacrosse power. What a job she's done. 39 goals, 31 assists already this season.
Bearcats again with a chance to strike first here. Coming off that dominating victory against Butler midweek, shot goes high. 19-6 the final against Butler. This is after they were able to survive UConn in the conference opener last weekend.
Good set here from Cincinnati, swinging it around, everyone getting a touch. The first shot high, but able to back it up.
Great look, even better stop from White.
Fantastic stop there from White, the high-to-high shot. You want to change planes. If you're going to release high, go low in the cage and vice versa. Good goalie. They will simply take that as catch and throw. You see early on how wide open this is. Both of these teams with the athletes, they like to press pace. Both will play transition when given the opportunity.
Still plenty of time on the shot clock here for the Pirates, as they work it around the fan.
Shot clock has been a welcome addition. The fastest game on 2 feet was slowing down in the last few years before the shot clock came into existence. Still plenty of time.
Stanton working her way through traffic, delighting the home fans. Nicole Lagar.
What a goal from Lagar. A great dodge, comes right through the top side. No one there on Lagar. Lagar, 27 points and now 22 goals to go with her 6 assists. Able to get around the defender, and that's the one that you want to see. Amanda Donovan, the senior, got to do a better job of getting her body in front of Lagar. Lagar, just too easy, as talented as she is, puts her home team on top.
Lagar has such an impact between the 30s, a true two-way midfielder. Right there gives the Pirates the opener here.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Lagar, doing what she needed to do. And in the age of specialization, where you have players that their job is to play defense, offense, they're at the draw. Lagar, a throwback player, and that is a huge compliment. She moved from attack to midfield. She's done a great job picking up defense as that two-way midi you mentioned.
Allie Stanton picks up her 12th assist on that goal. Full speed the other way, trying to pull it right back. And a short-lived lead, courtesy of Alyssa Adams.
And you can take that one back to the draw circle. Great job there from Sam Mokfi, who leads Cincinnati. Now 61 draw controls. That's exactly what you want to see in that situation. You're able to get the draw to a teammate, cuts right through, no one in the hole. People playing defense from the top out instead of from the inside out. You want to play defense from the top of the crease. And a quick response from the Bearcats.
Again, if Alyssa Adams played for ECU, she'd be one of the elder statesmen, just a sophomore, as for the most part, the roster for the Pirates, just sophomores and freshmen, a couple juniors sprinkled in. As just a less than 2-year-old program. Lead evaporates early. Alyssa Adams with her 24th scoring strike. As her coach, Jenna Thomas, describes her as an emotional leader for this group.
Off to a great start, fast and furious, what you always hope for.
As Sam Milkby helps the Bearcats win this one.
Milkby 2 in a row, and the draw control. Reza Pollock unable to get that one. See Cincinnati, they like to initiate from X, like to invert the offense, puts extra pressure on that defense.
Oh, nice feed, found the right Bearcats, but the defense able to pick up some slack, and let's see if it's coming back.
Yeah, Cincinnati dodges one there. It looked like they were going to lose possession, but instead they'll have a free position.
Napolitano this year, 1 for 4 on free position shots. Gianna, the junior, perhaps the most intelligent of the student athletes on the pitch right now. A lot of smart individuals, but her coach labels her Miss Academia, an engineering student. Trying to engineer a lead right here. Goes low with the bounce. Bearcats with their first advantage.
Hillsborough, New Jersey native, a perfect shot there on the free position. Bounces it low, off stick side, and that's where you want to put it every single time. Quick on the whistle, and you see it right there, off stick hip. That is a difficult, if not impossible, shot for a goalie, having to bring that head of the stick all the way across the body to the opposite hip. Now Cincinnati, after going down early, 2 straight to take their first lead.
Gianna's 14th scoring strike on the year, now her 2nd goal from the free position. And Cincinnati quickly turns a goal deficit into a goal advantage.
See if the freshman, Resin Pollock, can break up Milky's dominance in the draw circle.
Such an exciting season with the introduction of women's lacrosse to the lineup for the American Athletic Conference. And the Pirates pull even here with Lagar, who had that opening goal.
A great draw control, Resin Pollock doing what she needed to do, gets the possession for ECU. Across a game of momentum, a game of runs. You don't want Cincinnati to get 2 or 3 goals in a spurt. Need to answer quickly, and that's what the Pirates are looking to do. And just charging there, good look, coming above goal line extended. You like the feed inside or right outside the crease. Resin Pollock, the target, just right between 2 defenders holding their ground. Turns it over.
6 members in the American, 5 of whom were members of the Big East last year as affiliates. ECU being the lone exception, as they, again, when they heard the conference was going to begin women's lacrosse, that gave them the green light for this great opportunity here in Greenville.
Lacrosse, one of the fastest growing sports in the country at all levels. You look at the youth, the high school, and the collegiate level, there's a reason the game has exploded. So fast, fan-friendly. One of those games, if you play, you're out there once, maybe twice, chances are you're going to get hooked.
Head coach Amanda Barnes-Moore obviously knows where some of the most fertile recruiting grounds are. Great feed, we are level. What a pass to dial up Lagar for her brace.
That is a fantastic look, just the give and go. Lagar with it. Resin Pollock playing the distributor on the money. Put that one on a dime and a quick stick, just in and out of the pocket, high to high. No time for Durso to get to it. Lagar ties it at 2. You see the ability of Resin Pollock. Comes from that lacrosse family out of Long Island. Her father played at Hopkins. Has that swagger, even as a freshman. Just really understands the game and knows where to be.
And they are waving off no goal.
I've got to think that may have been a crease violation. We'll see, but that a fantastic look, and you anticipate Resin Pollock again having more opportunities like that. Unfortunately for ECU, still trailing by 1.
Resi with the brilliant pass there. For now, the Pirates still trail by 1. Ball with Adams. Borzillo able to recover. Back to Adams. Little dummy, fires high.
Yeah, you like that. If you're going to go high, you might as well miss the cage entirely, back it up and retain possession. And this is big for Cincinnati. It looks for all the world that ECU is going to be able to tie it up. The goal waved off, and now a chance for the Bearcats. Double their advantage and go up by 2.
Back with Milkby, who's finally healthy, really for the first time this year for the Bearcats. Inside the 8, trying to find a window, and instead of it being 2-2, all of a sudden it's 3-1.
This is a huge turn. Cincinnati, give them credit, taking advantage. ECU, their goal waved off. Borzillo, who else? Takes advantage, comes up with the goal. And the slide coming late. You see it here for ECU, just unable to get there in time. Borzillo doing a good job getting around the slide. Came from Pelosi, but Megan Pelosi, the sophomore from Maryland, just a little late after the initial defender was beaten.
It's a 3-goal run right now for the Bearcats. You see Amanda Barnes-Moore. I'll just point out, she is the winningest all-time head coach in ECU women's lacrosse history. helped begin this program, and that is such a challenge to start a program from scratch.
Oh, it really is, but she knows what an opportunity it is. You have such fertile recruiting ground here in North Carolina, and her native Maryland, played at North Carolina for the Tar Heels. Great history. She was at Duke. So great ties to this area and really making ties. She said the most exciting thing for her is to see all the youth players in the area coming out, hopefully one day to be in this situation.
Bearcats right now 3 unanswered.
Milkfeet doing.
Let's check in with Maryland.
You mentioned the task that is Amanda Barnes-Moore beginning this program here at ECU. She said Jenny Levy and Kirsten Kimmel at UNC and Duke have been the catalysts and encouragers for her to become a head coach after her 8 years as an assistant.
Sam Milkvey with the goal there. It's 4 unanswered now, as her coach, Jenna Thomas, loves Sam's instincts.
Milkvey sneaking from behind, no one on her. Caputo was late to get there. Milkvey takes full advantage, able to sneak top side. Milkvey's doing it all. She's been dominant in the draw control, comes up with her first goal. And for Cincinnati, after going down early, 4 goals by 4 different Bearcats.
Timeout here for the Pirates. Again, 4 unanswered conceded to the, I should say, yeah, timeout by the Pirates as Cincinnati with 4 straight goals. Head coach Gina Thomas, the former 3-time All-American at Ohio State, has continued just to increase the win total. Of course, longtime member of the U.S. women's national team, where she won 2 world titles for the U.S. of A. And these days, one of the greatest ground ball players in the history of Columbus, Ohio. Last year, Cincinnati was your top team in the country in ground balls.
They were indeed, and as she said, for her team, it's not a ground ball. A lot of coaches say it's a 50-50 ball. For them, it's a 75-25 ball, and they need to win 75% of the ground balls. That is a factor, that is a focus for this team, and it is for any coach. You talk to them, what are the keys? It's draw control and ground balls. And the reason Cincinnati is as good as they have been, because they get those GBs.
Meanwhile, for ECU, again, you heard there from Maryland for Coach Amanda Barnes-Moore, a couple of mentors from North Carolina as well as over at Duke, obviously influencing her career and her path here to ECU in-state, trying to start a brand new program with the Pirates. Big questions coming in this year. Obviously, you have a young squad. Can they get the game to slow down? As obviously emotions running high with excitement. And even with the whistle, still wants her players going full speed.
And she does indeed. If you're going to make mistakes, make them going 100 miles an hour. Doesn't want her players to slow down, and that's how it should be. Trying to develop these young players quickly. And starting a new program, always difficult, but especially when you're in the shadow of powerhouses like the Tar Heels and the Blue Devils. ECU trying to make a name for themselves.
You know, a lot of things that require maturity is right there in that midfield, able to make the adjustment fluidly throughout a match.
Oh, you're right about that. And for high school players, they're used to kind of being in one place, maybe in the draw, maybe on attack, on defense. Being that true two-way player, that'll give you an opportunity at the collegiate level to get on the field earlier than you might if you can only do one thing. It's all about versatility.
Coach Barnes-Moore did mention practice these past couple of weeks has been very promising with the freshman class, with seeing it slowing down. She needs a full 60 minutes out of everybody today. ECU grabbed the opening goal and will win this one.
ECU with possession and loses it immediately. A hung stick, never a recipe for success.
As Alexandra Fess, I believe, able to force the turnover. She is one of 3 Fesses we will talk about throughout today. All of them juniors, all of them from Fayetteville, Fayetteville, New York, out of Christian Brothers Academy. As Coach Thomas went recruiting one and all of a sudden realized, wait a second, there's a couple more that look just like her.
Lacrosse is a family game. If the parents play, the siblings, chances are you will as well. We see that from Resin Pollock. Her father played at Hopkins. Caputo, her brother plays at Duke. Her father an assistant there as well. Obviously, the Foss triplets.
Pennypacker and the Pirates trying to snap a 4-goal run here for the Bearcats. Stanton back up top to Lagar. Again, Lagar making that transition this year to midfield. Denied her second goal a little bit earlier. At the time, thought it was going to be a 2-2 match.
And what a difference that waved off goal was. Would have been 2-2. Instead, Cincinnati kept a 2-1 lead and put 2 more on their side. And a missed opportunity offensively. That was a set that ECU really needed to find a goal in. Cincinnati defense standing strong.
Leona Durso now 100 saves on the season.
Durso just under 45% save percentage. Talk about the young players, all freshmen and sophomore for ECU. Having a senior in cage makes a huge difference. The confidence, your goalie, always that defensive general.
Borzillo. A nice job by the Pirates. Looking for a screen here for Noss. Kylie Noss helping create her own opportunity, the freshman. She was injured all fall, and to start this season, finally hitting her stride. And, well, if scoring a 27th goal is hitting your stride, count me in.
Noss, the freshman of the week in the American. Urso, the defensive player of the week. But what a job. This is just a one-on-one drive down the alley. Very little angle from Noss. Has it in the left hand. Able to sneak it by White. A tough shot from an acute angle. Noss put that one on a dime. And it's 5-1 Cincinnati, 4 in a row for the Bearcats.
Noss with a great frame. The freshman at 5'11" in that midfield.
She's an impressive player. Looks the part. Anticipate her having a very successful career and already off to a great start.
Great game day atmosphere here in Greenville. And you imagine the wins will come as the players continue to mature and you bring in additional recruiting classes to up the competition in practice. Pirates just playing their second ever conference match.
ECU taking their lumps, and that's what's going to happen when you're a young program. Playing good teams, more established. Have some more veteran players, but ECU not making excuses, just trying to get better each and every time out.
Emerging from the X up top, and the pass just off the mark. Trying to connect there with Lagar.
That's the ticket right now. You need Resin Pollock dodging from X, able to beat her defender, and when the slide comes, needs to dump it.
Bearcats in transition, so aggressive. This time they'll take it a notch down. 5 unanswered from Cincinnati.
They can play fast in transition. They can play settled offense. They've had success doing both.
Noss, the most recent goal scorer. Nice speed, well disciplined though for the Pirates. That was Hillary Hardig, the freshman, holding her ground.
Hardig doing a great job, not letting Borzillo spin back inside to her right hand.
And an opportunity coming up here for Cincinnati. It's going to be an indirect, however.
Out at the top of the 12-meter fan. Cincinnati doing a good job moving the ball quickly, and that is something you need to focus on offense, getting the ball in and out of sticks. If you're going to dodge, do so immediately upon receiving the pass. No wasted time.
Loved it when we first spotted Christina White earlier today. You saw, I think, in our open during warm-ups, had all the face paint on.
And that's just a goalie. Goalies are a different breed. They are tough as nails, and if you're going to make your living, if you're going to apply your trade in the 6x6, like White, you really have to own it.
Well, it was the right idea there as they were looking for Geisen. Noss sends it back inside. Ball spills loose.
And that's a ground ball you just have to scoop through. Tried to goose it out, did ECU, and the result, Cincinnati with it, but White thankfully comes up with a big save.
Christina White able to shut down the offering from Monica Borzillo. Another quick look.
Yeah, White doing a great job. You want to step out, attack the ball, really get your hands out to it. White doing just that on the save.
Anna Barnesmore talks about her sophomore goalkeeper being the hardest worker on the team. Last year was splitting time in goal as a freshman. This year, your decisive leader between the pipes. She says underneath those pants, her legs are black and blue, just taking shot after shot after shot, stopping them any way she can.
Yeah, any goalie certainly knows that feeling. Wonder why goalies in lacrosse wear sweatpants. Generally, well, taking a lot of shots there, trying to get little added protection.
That's Alexandra Fess. Alexandra's number 20, Amanda's 21, Isabel's, pardon me, I should say Adriana's 19. The three twins, Adriana and Alexandra, play back on the defense as starters. Amanda sees time in the midfield. Coach said they all have nicknames.
As you would expect, as triplets are inseparable on and off the field. Where you will find one, the other two will be certainly in the vicinity.
Caputo able to force the turnover there.
Yeah, Caputo doing a good job of Borzillo in for the ground ball. It stays Bearcats.
It stays with Cincinnati. Another stump by White.
White's doing her job, but the ground ball's dominated by Cincinnati, and that's giving them opportunities and extended possessions offensively.
Got to reset the shot clock. Back to 90.
ECU has to do a better job getting into possession when the ball is on the grass.
Yeah, so Pirates not doing themselves any favors. You make some nice stops. They've had some good discipline. Just need to be able to get that ball.
Cincinnati always putting pressure on the defense, sending cutters across the top of the crease.
Able to maintain control. Alyssa Adams just goes wide.
What a one-on-one move there. Adams running over the defender. Thought she lost it, kept it in her crease. She's in her cross, I should say. Yeah, that wasn't the look. Just well defended. ECU with the defender right there. Now White going for a run.
Christina White just trying to get her Fitbit steps in.
Yeah, anytime you see a goalie come out of the crease and go for a run like that, your attackers' eyes get wide. You know you've got an open net. Cincinnati unable to get it away from them.
It was Caputo who forced the turnover that leads to this possession for ECU. ECU with the opening goal today. Last five have belonged to the visitors from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Just about halfway through this first 30 minutes. One thing ECU needs is more possession. It's been dominated by the visitors. Good set here. Taking their time, getting it around.
ECU being outshot officially 11-2 here. Let's see if they can get back on the board.
This is an opportunity with a free position you have to take advantage of. Stanton, the leading scorer, with a big chance.
Able to go low and dial one up. Allie Stanton, goal number 18 on the year, the sophomore.
Yeah, great stuff there. Stanton leads the team. 28 points coming into the game now, 18 goals and 11 assists. And a fantastic job dropping the stick, goes low. So difficult to do. Little three-quarter, able to find the 5-hole through the legs of Durso. That is a big response from ECU.
That sparked a run for the Pirates. Let's check in with Maryland.
I spent some time over with the ECU and Cincinnati rosters, and what you see from ECU is a group of athletes who, after every possession change, is talking back with their head coach, and you're hearing head coach Moore say that's on the scouting report. When something is done well, she says very clearly that's focus. She's reinforcing for this young team what it can do well when it applies what it knows. As for Cincinnati, the frustration mounted on that 7th shot taken. Very frustrated head coach and coaching staff with the decision making even to take that shot. They weren't getting the offensive set that they wanted, and so there you see that 5-0 run come to an end for the Bearcats.
Adams trying to start a new run, but again the answer from White. Yeah, obviously both these teams are eyeing a conference win today, but they each still are mindful that their programs are in different spots as they have different checklists, if you will, coming into this matchup, things they need to see to know that they are continuing to progress in the right direction.
Yeah, they do indeed. ECU all about focusing on themselves. That's one thing Coach Moore said after 8 years as an assistant. This her first head coaching job. It's a new program, and things are new for her as well, even though she's been in the profession for a long time. When you're a head coach for the first time, you have to make the adjustments as well. Cincinnati looking better in the settled offense of late. The transition was serving them early.
Noss. Denied entry from Caputo.
I like the way they're attacking up front, that combination between Noss and Borzillo.
As Taylor Geisen, often back at X, as the Geisen family and Coach Thomas, a longtime bond. Geisen's the third different sister that Coach Thomas has recruited over the years. First at Ohio State, when she recruited and signed Kendall. And then Lindsay was signed to Ohio State just as Coach Thomas was headed out to take a head coaching gig. But you see those bonds really pay off in the long run.
Absolutely. Have those relationships continuing through the sisters. Geisen doing a very good job from X and backing up shots as well. Another missed shot, but Bearcats still with it.
Noss from 7 meters.
And that's a great shot from the freshman.
There's going to be a yellow.
That will indeed.
It's got, I believe, a dangerous shot that would take it off the board.
So the goal will not count. The yellow to Noss, and he'll have to head to the sideline. Dangerous shot as the defender in her path. You like the placement going low, so both these teams have had a goal wiped off.
So again, 5-2 remains our score. Noss off for a couple minutes.
This is a big chance for ECU. They have the woman advantage, trailing by just 3. You'll see if they can pull 1, even 2 back in this situation.
Pennypacker. Cameron Pennypacker, freshman out of New Jersey. He's one of the players that Coach Barnes-Moore mentions doesn't have the luxury of just being a freshman. You are being thrown out there in the fire. You don't have a chance to sit back and watch the older players and learn from them. Great feed. And the punctuation from the Pirates.
Great look across, a fantastic feed. It came out of the stick. Kuniski, and a beautiful job there. Able to collect it on the doorstep. Sieto doing a great job, comes up with her first goal. It's a beautiful catch. Tight angle and able to slip it by Durso. Durso is at the top of the crease and leaving room behind her.
Sophia with her second goal of her career, the freshman.
So ECU taking advantage of the woman down situation for Cincinnati, and they've cut it to a 2-goal game.
That'll even up the numbers. That great pass came from Megan Kuniski. Freshman in her own right with her 4th assist. You know, you can be down a handful of goals, but the next scoring strike can all of a sudden just spark all the momentum in the world. Right now, the Pirates are back within 2. Trailed by as many as 4. They've cut that deficit in half with still 11.5 to play in this first stanza.
Yeah, this is a big set for ECU. They can cut it to a 1-goal game. They need to continue to get that off-ball movement. Unfortunately, a turnover. Niski just trying to do a bit too much.
That foul coming out of her spin. Great to have you with us today here in Greenville, North Carolina. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico, Marilyn Payne with you. Second weekend of conference play. Last weekend we were in Philadelphia as Temple. Well, they gave the Gators of Florida a run for their money in that first half. Florida never had a lead until the final 30 seconds, able to find a big scoring strike and then able to pull away in that second half, reminding us why they are one of the favorites in the country. And you're multiple-time now defending champs emerging from the Big East, now joining the American. Vanderbilt and Florida, your 2 affiliate members. 4 of the 6 members will advance to Cincinnati. The Bearcats campus will be hosting the first ever lacrosse championship. Nifty spin, and Borzillo with a little highlight finish.
Just too much from Monica Borzillo. A great catch at the top of the crease, spins around the defender. And good players know they have more time than they think. The slide came late, and that's one where you don't lose your head. Just able to elude the defender in the check, and Borzillo comes up with her second, back to a 3-goal Bearcat lead.
Goal number 40. Actually, pardon me, goal number 41 for Borzillo now.
Hear that with 31 assists.
That's after she won the ground ball to help set it all up.
The ground ball is now 8-4 in favor of Cincinnati. Staff that they've dominated.
So Cincinnati ends a little 2-0 run from the Pirates. 20 minutes in. Coach Thomas wants an explanation.
ECU, who's turned it over almost twice as many times. 9 turnovers by the Pirates, only 5 by the Bearcats, also losing in ground balls. Need to win here in the draw control.
Scooped up by Blumenthal. And a scary moment there. As Liz able to pop back up, the sophomore from Suwanee, Georgia.
Talked about the growth of lacrosse, starting to see players from these non-traditional hotbeds, players from Georgia. And definitely a foul there as she lost the goggles, but good to see her back to her feet and ready to go.
And into the stick of Adams. Get the feeling the local sporting goods store is probably running low on eye black. Pelosi. Goal line extended.
For ECU, you want to see more off-ball movement right now, just too much one-on-one.
Adriana Fess was able to force it loose initially. Again, Fess, described by her coach, a 1v1 shutdown defender as a junior. She was the initial recruit that Coach Thomas was targeting, only to happily find out that Dree had a couple sisters nicknamed X and Buzz.
They've been huge factors. Team offense always the best offense, and you're not seeing that for ECU as much as for Cincinnati. Cincinnati doing a better job getting everyone involved, getting the off-ball cutters. You see that movement across the face of goal.
Nicknames are funny. Coach Thomas said, yeah, I can call her Dree, I can call her Sister X, but saying Buzz just sounds funny, but that's what they call her.
Coach won't call her that. Her teammates will.
Talking about Amanda, one midfielder among the triplets. Pass off the mark. Cincinnati trying to win it back.
Duke's doing a good job. Shot just not finding its target. Borzillo able to back it up.
It's these prolonged opportunities that have ultimately paid off for the Bearcats. Another stop and perhaps another black and blue mark on the leg of White.
White has been outstanding. Another shot just at the top of her crease, point blank range. White there again with the save. She's keeping ECU in this one.
Jordan Cox with that ground ball pickup a moment ago. Well, you certainly respect when sophomores and freshmen aren't going to be bullied around. They're going to get physical along with some of the older players. Let's check back in with Marilyn Payne.
You mentioned Christina White and just how black and blue the bottom of her legs will be at the end of every practice and every game, a constant state of being. She's a goalie's goalie. Amanda Barnes compared her to really any goalkeeper she's ever had, including All-Americans. She said she's not good because of any coaching I've done. She's good because of her work ethic. She is who she is. She gets every shot on that she can. She takes every extra practice she can, and she is a hard worker. She split time last year in the starting role, but she's really come on to her own this season.
Yeah, making her 13th start now already as a sophomore this year.
I asked Coach Moore what kind of credit she could take for White's development. Coach Moore, a former goalie at UNC, she said very little. She does a good job. She listens to our goalkeeping coach. She's always out there getting extra work.
And too much traffic as Sam Milkby fires that one.
And not the shot from Milkby. You can get a better look. Bearcats still with it. They continue to back up shots.
Moments later, determination pays off, this time from Napolitano.
And that is a situation where the backed up shot gets you the goal. Napolitano comes up with her second. But a miss, a good look in. Napolitano able to backdoor cut her defender. Another good feed. Napolitano just able to catch and shoot.
So Napolitano joins Borzillo with 2 goals apiece for the Bearcats. 5 total Bearcats with goals here today on the road in their first ever trip to Greenville.
Remember, this side looking for their first road win of the season. As good as they've been, they have not won on the road this year. They've won 4 in a row, all at home.
Borzillo picks up another point with the assist there.
One common opponent between the two, Gardner-Webb. ECU defeated them 18-11. Cincinnati handled them 22-9.
See Milkby and Pelosi here. Pelosi, 19 draw victories on the year. Milkby helps the Bearcats prevail this time.
And Milkby's second in the conference in draw controls. Been a big part of this offense for Cincinnati. And another good look. The feed from X. Shot just off the mark.
Borzillo denied an assist right there, but it'll stay with Cincinnati after a well-timed feed.
Bearcats again look to invert, attack from behind.
Cincinnati's a fun group to watch. They can be full speed ahead, and then next thing you know, all of a sudden have slowed the match down. Borzillo looking for the hat trick.
Borzillo with the charge, just running through her defender. And the impressive thing to me about Cincinnati, aside from the ground balls, things of that nature, the high lacrosse IQ. They understand the game. They know how to get open. When a defender turns her head, you want to take the opportunity to cut through. Smart lacrosse players, and you pair that with good stick skills, you're going to come up with some success.
Bearcats, for the second time today, boasting a 4-goal advantage. ECU had pulled within 2 before Cincinnati able to reclaim those last 2 goals. Penny Packer.
For ECU, just under 5 minutes remaining in the half. Need to cut into this lead as much as possible before going into the locker rooms for the break.
ECU's matchup last weekend was that 14-10 loss against Vanderbilt. It was a matchup where they saw a little mix of both man and zone defense, but coach appreciated how gritty the Pirates were for the full hour.
For ECU right there, an unforced turnover, just threw it away. The pass was low, couldn't get it. That is their 13th turnover for the Pirates compared to just 6 by the Bearcats.
We'll get it right back from the Bearcats a moment later. Well, we talk about the growth of not just ECU women's lacrosse, but as a result of their presence alone, all of a sudden the eastern half of the state is seeing growth in the game.
Yeah, you see that. They're a huge part of the reason these young women playing youth lacrosse, high school lacrosse, coming out supporting the Pirates. The Pirates doing a very good job with community engagement.
The local lacrosse team at the youth level has more than doubled in participation.
There's a reason the hotbeds, places like Baltimore, Long Island, upstate, are associated with the big-time college programs. ECU looking to do something similar here in their part of North Carolina.
Shot clock a little over more than halfway down. Three minutes to go here in the opening half. ECU trails by 4. Bearcats led by braces so far from a pair of scorers, Borzillo and Napolitano. Able to overcome a numbers disadvantage. That ball lingers, scary moment, but Bearcats survive.
That's a shot, looked like it just got stuck on the top shooting string.
Alexandra Fess. Toss up ahead to Napolitano with her 2 goals today. Same can be said for Borzillo, who's thrown in an assist as well.
If you're Cincinnati, just about 2 minutes before half, take your time, get a good shot. See if you can extend your lead to 5.
Bearcats have matched their largest lead right now at 4. Yeah, that one high from Jade Sains. First chance to call the senior's name. Started her career at Long Island, Brooklyn. Coach Thomas refers to Sains as a quiet player. Still able to sprinkle in a little bit of sass.
Already 2 shots in this possession. Sains with the miss backed up, and then that one coming off the pipe. Another chance for Cincinnati. Getting 2 shots in 1 set.
Final 80 seconds in Greenville in this first half. As the ball slips loose before the shot from Noss.
Good defense there. Noss unable to get the shot off. ECU really needs to come up with the goal in this possession.
Full speed ahead here with Blumenthal.
1 minute, 1 minute and 30.
Pelosi would be a leading candidate to find the goal here for the Pirates. Right now playing without the ball, looking for the pass. Won't be fed within 6 meters. And the Bearcats will hold them off. Half a minute to burn.
Another good set defensively from Cincinnati. The slide coming quickly, getting numbers to the ball, the adjacent there. Physical, but not too physical to where it's to draw the whistle.
Oh, how about the hop up ahead to Milkby? Talk about a highlight transition for the Bearcats. They started with 30 seconds on the clock, traversed traffic. 15 seconds later, their largest lead of the day.
What a job here. Able to take that one off the bounce. Milkby, the junior from New Jersey, had a teammate with her. The defender trying to hedge to split the 2. Milkby goes high in the cage, tucks it underneath the crossbar for her 2nd goal. Milkby Murphy, so impressive in the draw control and a pair of goals as well.
Yeah, Coach Thomas has so much respect just for her natural lacrosse instincts.
You saw it there. She had a teammate with her, could have dished it, wouldn't have given her any problem whatsoever, had the open teammate, but was doing a very good job, able to kind of hedge that defender where she was trying to split Milkvey and the attacker. Never came out fully committed to Milkvey, and Milkvey just went right into the goal.
Bearcats, again, able to edge out UConn. Last weekend, 11-9. Coach Thomas gives a lot of credit to her keeper in Durso, saying her goalie stepped up with a big defense, only allowed one first-half goal in that matchup, and they learned how to finish as UConn put the pressure on them in the second half. Defense steps up again for Cincinnati. Final second on the clock, and the Bearcats take their largest lead of the day into the half. In a moment, we'll have a chance to check in with head coach Gina Thomas of Cincinnati. We'll check in with the top Pirate on the other side of the break.
Cincinnati's offense obviously doing its job, but their defense is really what it stood out. They've done a fantastic job in shutting down ECU, haven't given them any real opportunities. And hats off, if your defense is doing its job, it gives the offense a lot of confidence to do theirs.
So a 5-goal advantage for Cincinnati, looking for its first road win on the year. More importantly, its second straight win in conference play. Here's Marilyn Payne with Coach Gina Thomas.
With head coach Gina Thomas here, how did you feel about your team's offensive decision-making and shot selection in this first half?
I think it was a little all over the place, to be honest with you. I think we started off well, and then we probably went about 10 minutes where we were taking some shots right at our stick. We got to stick to our systems and play better, but it's nice that we're up 8-3 with not playing so hot.
What caused your team to not stick to the system after that 5-0 run?
Well, I think it's they're excited. It's us on grass. We're seeing man-to-man defense, which we haven't seen in a while. So they're just excited to get to the cage, which I can't blame them.
Another thing that you emphasized wanting your team to improve on today was making 50-50 balls, not 50-50 balls. How do you feel about the control in terms of possession you've had today?
I think we're doing great off the draw. That's the key to the game right now is possessing the ball. I think we're doing okay on the defensive end. We had a couple slip away from us a little bit, but I think we're pretty solid right now on that as well.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, not just the players excited. I think Coach is excited overall as well. She knows that there's still room for improvement, and yet they have a 5-goal lead at the half here in Greenville.
How do you drive impact for 200 years? By doing it boldly. By building a bridge, breaking a barrier, planting a flag, owning a stage. Because here, we learn by doing and believe the status quo was built to be broken. So be proud, be bold, be Cincinnati. We're 2 centuries in, and we're still creating what's next. We are boldly Bearcat.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle, a big save, a clutch hit,
Or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right. There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student athletes,
coaches, and team representatives. Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments, profanities, or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it, or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
Scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
dominance for a fourth straight year. Cueto from 30.
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate the 7th championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Powerful minds, strong in mind, strong in body. The American is dedicated to promoting success
through a healthy, powerful mind.
If it is okay to seek help
for injuries we can see,
then it needs to be okay to seek help for injuries we can't see.
Mental health awareness is important because I think a lot of times it goes unnoticed in college athletics.
We look after our bodies, and it's just as important to look after our mental health.
It's time to end the stigma
related to mental health
and seeking help. End the stigma.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with one drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Halftime here in Greenville. As Coach Thomas mentioned, the players excited to be on real grass, a beautiful pitch here, home of the Pirates in year 2 of Division I lacrosse. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico back with you. We'll hear from Coach Barnes more on the other side here of the break. Take a look at those first half highlights as ultimately we would see ECU strike first and a stingy play back in goal from Christina White.
Christina White, fantastic in goal, and it was the home team getting on the board first. A quick response from Cincinnati. The Bearcats offense quickly finding its gear. White doing a great job in the 6x6. ECU able to find a second goal there, but ultimately Cincinnati taking control late in the first half, extending to an 8-3 lead. The Bearcats offense doing a great job moving off ball, the off ball cutters, and what a job here. Milkby able to scoop the ground ball and into cage, had a teammate with her, but elected to take it herself and dunks it in the top of the 6x6. Another Bearcats goal. And that being said, Coach Thomas, you heard her at halftime, not entirely pleased. We'll see how the Bearcats respond.
How do you drive impact for 200 years? By doing it boldly. By building a bridge, breaking a barrier, planting a flag, owning a stage. Because here, we learn by doing and believe the status quo was built to be broken. So be proud, be bold, be Cincinnati. We're 2 centuries in, and we're still creating what's next. We are boldly Bearcat.
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it, or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
Scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year. Cueto from 30!
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate the 7th championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Just about ready to start the second half. The Bearcats plenty loose. We heard from their head coach just prior to halftime. Now a chance to listen in as Maryland's joined by Amanda Barnes-Moore.
What do you want to see for your offense to be able to manufacture more shots in this second half?
Right now, I think in order for us to manufacture the ball, we're going to manufacture more shots. We're going to have to possess and do a better job of taking care of the ball with our catching and throwing.
Is that a matter of draw control for you, or just keeping it when you get it?
You know, I think that right now we're split even on the draw controls. I think they got a little bit of an advantage there and a little bit of momentum from winning a couple in a row. So we're going to try to do a better job on that. But certainly, I just think that possession of the ball is what's really critical for us right now in general.
How did you emphasize your team being able to take care of that in the second half?
I told them to lay on it instead of letting it go out of the bounds.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Maryland, thank you. As this will be the least important note I give you, but there are 2 Mandy Moores coaching lacrosse in the American alone, between Coach Barnes-Moore here at ECU, of course, Mando O'Leary, the former great Mandy Moore at Temple, now head coach at Florida. End of that pop culture trivia.
And you heard Coach Barnes-Moore saying it wants her players to lay on it. Say not tongue-in-cheek, but you get her point. Just too many unforced turnovers. That is an issue. ECU, the offense, when they've had it, they've been effective. They're turning the ball over, draw control even. You look at the turnovers, 14 by ECU. That is not a recipe for success. You pair that with losing on the ground balls, 11-7 in favor of Cincinnati.
Time to get the second half underway. Remember, the Pirates trailed by as many as 4, then cut that deficit in half, only to see Cincinnati go on another run. We've seen each team have 1 goal disallowed.
As they have all year long, that Bearcats defense burying its teeth. They've allowed 9 or fewer goals to their past 3 opponents and off to a good start. The Pirates with just 3 in the first 30 minutes.
You know, we heard Coach Thomas talk about the areas that they need to improve. I don't think you want to play a perfect match here early in conference play. You still want to be able to, after a victory, be able to point out areas you can continue to improve.
You heard that from Coach Thomas. Even though her side with a 5-goal lead, she was not pleased, and there were things that she wants them to improve upon. And good coaches, that's always going to be the case. No matter what the score, there are always steps to be made.
Bearcats looking for the first strike here of the second half. 1 minute into the shot clock.
You want to have them keep their foot on the gas, keep moving.
And after patience, finally the strike from Alyssa Adams.
Adams, a sophomore from York, Pennsylvania, her 2nd goal of the game. Does a great job. The sweep across the top, no help coming. A one-on-one situation, nobody there for Jarvis. And able to get around the side. Another nice shot. The shot selection, by and large, saved that 10-minute period in the first half. Has been very good for the Bearcats.
Left the keeper White just play the guessing game.
For ECU, the slide has to come quicker. You need the help defense. When you see that your on-ball defender has been beaten, you've got to get the slide there quickly. The 2 slide has to come as well, so you can't get that adjacent pass off.
Three Bearcats with multiple goals today. A fairly balanced effort all around from Cincinnati.
What a difference it is for Cincinnati. All these players in double digits. 8 players with double-digit goals. Huge difference from a year ago.
Got to be unnerving for the defense when you just slowly work it around, and anybody around that fan could ultimately come flying in for a shot.
Well, that's a great point. Usually there's a player, maybe 2, possibly even 3 that you want to key on defensively. Oh, what a save from White.
That was all natural instinct from Christina White. No time to think about it.
And that's just reaction right there. You have to have the best reaction time across a game of hand-eye coordination, and nowhere more than in the 6x6. And what a job from White. No time to think, just reacted and able to get her stick to it. not appear the shot clock was reset.
So Pirates conceding the first goal of the second half. Trying to pull it back here. Largest deficit of the day, down by 6. Opportunity with space. Able to capitalize. Allie Stanton.
The leading scorer, Stanton, comes up with her second of the game, now 19 goals on the year. And that's a good job. Defensively, Cincinnati gambling, tried to pick off the pass intended for Stanton. Stanton saw the defender was out of position, was able to grab the pass. You see it here. Defender tried to get to it. No feet, not there. Stanton takes full advantage and slips it near pipe.
Allie can capitalize on a defender's mistake so quickly. I asked her head coach to sum her up in one word, and that word was fast.
And you saw it. That's exactly what she was. Defender unable to get to the ball. Stanton right in on goal.
Sam Milkby back in the draw control, matched up with Pelosi. Well, the shot discrepancy right now, 25-6. Again, Cincinnati with the distinct advantage. Shots on goal, 15-6. With a little over half of those going in for the Bearcats on the road today.
The important thing there for ECU is every shot they've taken has been on frame. They are being outshot almost 3-1.
Sometimes that's the result, though, of being a little too picky.
It is.
Waiting for that perfect shot. Where this sport, obviously, we've seen goalkeepers struggle at times with even a 50% save.
That's a great point. You see Cincinnati, they're willing to take more shots. They will miss shots. They retain possession as they are able to back them up.
Nice. "40 seconds into this possession. With Napolitano among the Bearcats with multiple goals today. Out to Alyssa Adams, who also has added 2 more. And was looking for the first hat trick of the day.
And there you see it, a shot just pushed wide, but Cincinnati closest to it when it went out of bounds.
Moments later, the freshman able to connect. Kylie Noss.
Noss, who leads the conference in goals scored by freshmen, now with 28. Fantastic job. Cincinnati doing a very good job clearing out the middle. They're bringing their offense to either side of the cage. You see the huge space right at the top of the crease. Noss able to find it, finds the back of the net.
Wish home run hitters, instead of the bat flip, had to just drop the bat for it to be checked. Have a lot fewer incidents out on the diamond.
I'd like to see ECU keep things tighter defensively, packed in. You're not going to get beat, a goalie the caliber of White, with those outside shots. Right now, they're not doing her any favors as the shots are coming from dead on. Another draw controlled by the Bearcats.
Back up to Borzillo. Bearcats on the road today. But Gettler Stadium, their home, will be the first ever site when we crown the inaugural champion in the American. 4 of the 6 teams will advance. We'll have that wall-to-wall coverage here on the American Digital Network. That'll be our next coverage here for women's lacrosse.
What a weekend that's going to be. These teams focused on getting themselves in that top 4, getting their trip to Cincinnati, and another save from White. That time Noss unable to sneak it low.
As the whistle's going to bring it back out indirect here for Napolitano. See what she has in mind.
Been a lot of bright spots for ECU. Defensively, they're going to have to improve both one-on-one and as a team. And offensively, just want to see more off-ball movement, longer possessions.
Borzillo able to squeeze it inside the pipes.
Borzillo, the first Bearcat with a hat trick. Now her 3rd goal of the game for the junior from Pennsylvania. And again, it continues, just that open up top, able to sweep across. Borzillo just finds the shooting lane. Another well-placed shot.
One of her biggest fans is her head coach. Gina Thomas loves to watch Borzillo play. Just the way she can contort sometimes to get that perfect angle. Timeout from the Pirates. Largest deficit of the day against Cincinnati. Down by 7.
I mentioned all freshmen and sophomores for the home team taking their lumps. Good Cincinnati team exploiting the situation.
So again, in the opening weekend, Florida a winner. These Bearcats a winner over UConn, and Vanderbilt a winner as well. All of them came into this weekend tied at 1-0. We'll start to get a little separation now here in week 2. Again, it's all about being among the top 4 teams. Florida is your overwhelming favorite just based on past performance there with Coach O'Leary's squad, claiming the last 4 Big East tournament titles and, of course, the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament that goes with it. But you take a look at the great confines here at Johnson Stadium for ECU. The natural surface, a little bit more manageable here on the East Coast than perhaps back in Philadelphia or in Cincinnati.
Certainly the case. Early in the year, those February and March games, and Coach Thomas mentioning that players, they love to play on natural grass. You ask them, and obviously turf easier to take care of, but a natural grass surface and as meticulously tended to as this one is, what a facility, what a sight for a game. Cincinnati just need to keep doing what you're doing. ECU got to get stops. It's not just about getting stops. You've got to turn those into goals. Obviously, more difficult to do than say.
Let's check back in with Maryland.
Cincinnati with the 11-4 lead, and as you have both mentioned before, Monica Borzillo, the baby deer for the UC Bearcats. An interesting reaction from head coach Thomas. She says she's the most talented, unconventional type of athletic. She just finds ways to get it done. But in talking about the entire Cincinnati team, Thomas says that one of the biggest focuses for them is finding a way to wrangle all of the personalities they have and put that personality into a focused, consistent level of production. She says she has so much fun with her team, but it's a matter of finding ways to put those personalities and turn them into production rather than just being a team that has fun and goofs off. She wants the identity of Cincinnati lacrosse to become a fun place to play, but a fun and very competitive program.
Coach, when you and I spoke with Coach Thomas earlier this week, I asked her what encompasses your team. And she said it's blue collar, it's fun, and it's competitive, but competitive is number one. Everything we do is a competition. You see that on the field.
Again, every year they've improved the win total. If they can hang on today, they will match last year's 8 victories, and they'll surpass last year's conference win total. Bearcats went 1-8 last year in the Big East. They have a chance to start off 2-0.
Taking on the personality of their coach. They're outgoing but competitive. And oh, nice flip and the goal. Beautiful little underhand flip. Cincinnati strikes again.
Alyssa Adams getting all that jump started, finding Milkby, who gets the punctuation.
Look at Adams flipping back inside around the defender. The help comes underhand. Milkby. Look what I found. A little three-quarter shot low in the cage by White.
Assisted by number 30.
That's the team offense. That's what it is. Unselfish, and you see it. All smiles from the visitors in black. It's not about one or two players. Everybody on offense getting involved, unselfish. The reward is this 8-goal lead.
Milkby's 21st goal on the year. But it all started there with the creativity from Adams.
Good players know that when the slide comes, that help defender comes, it means somebody is open, and the person open is where the slide came from. Milkby knew it. As Adams able to flip it to her, Milkby just put herself in a great shooting position. All she had to do was catch and rip.
See the dynamic duo there in your shot outside the draw circle. And we're going to do it again.
Still plenty of time remaining, but ECU needs to get something going offensively, and that starts in the draw control circle. Possession has been dominated by Cincinnati.
8th time this year Bearcats have had 12 goals or more. They've only lost one of those matches. That was at Louisville.
Bearcats averaging 14.5 goals a game, well on track to surpass that.
We had a number last week where Florida, in their program's history, when they would score 14 or more, they're, I believe, about 121-2 all-time record.
And generally, it's around that 14 or 15 goal a game mark. If you talk to coaches, that's where they want to see their team. They want to see them scoring upwards of 14 goals a game. That'll give you a chance to win just about every time out.
See if we get a clarification.
It looked like we had a yellow card issued to a Pirate.
And Brittany Borchers at the moment, the sophomore out of the Houston area. Kingwood, Texas, often slides on once Pirates will get the ball.
Saw a yellow card on Cincinnati in the first half. Now Pirates down a woman. Cincinnati in this position where they can be patient. They have been all game long with an 8th goal lead. No reason to force anything.
Extra pass. Ultimately, though, goes wide from Donovan.
A good look inside. Donovan just had to take an extra cradle, and that gave the defense time. You see the feed, Donovan wide open, but that extra cradle just enough for ECU to collapse on her.
It was a green card, so that's a 1-minute opportunity.
The delay of game.
And that opportunity now over.
So back all even. ECU doing a good job killing the woman down penalty.
Lagar, who had that opening goal of the day. Soon after, thought she had a brace, only to have the goal waved off.
Cincinnati doing a good job. Sticks up inside, closing down the passing lanes. Just as I say that, a beautiful feed to the top of the crease. Wide open Pirate there.
Brennan Pollock is going to get the assist on that one. Great vision from behind goal line extended.
Yeah, we've seen that from the Long Island native. Resin Pollock so good at X, playing the feeder, the distributor, and this time Cicero again there. Great job collecting it with the defense, closing her down.
Well, Cicero playing just her 6th match of the year, the freshman out of Lynbrook, New York. She's had some impactful moments.
One New Yorker to another. Resin Pollock playing the distributor. You can see those two clearly on the same page. It bodes well for the future.
In second ever meeting between these two programs, ECU just its 2nd ever season of women's lacrosse. But a bright future, no doubt, ahead.
Bearcats looking to make it 2-0 against the Pirates. Took a 16-7 victory last year. ECU with the goal and now the draw control.
Lagar able to recover after the ball spills loose from Borchers.
Exactly what you need in this situation. Got a goal, now back with possession. Chance to go on a run.
Pirates bring La Cicero back on after she had the last goal. All the way across the way, able to hook up with Stin.
A good look there, skipping a pass. That's a difficult thing to do.
And just enough influence there from Durso in goal.
Cincinnati has to be careful. That's the 2nd time ECU has been able to feed the crease, and they've had a wide open Pirate close in on goal. Have to keep an eye on the crease, play defense from the inside out. Cincinnati has done a very good job of that by and large today.
Former 3-time All-American looking on with some disbelief. In her mind, it's a tied ball game.
Every coach will tell you it's always a tie game, no matter what the score.
Gonna have a free position here coming up.
Big for ECU. Scored the last, and now a chance to make it 2 in a row.
Resi is 2 for 3 this year on free position shots.
Oh, what a save from Durso. A good look.
Pirates got it back, at least momentarily.
Big ground ball. ECU starting to get the ball off the turf better than they did in the first half. Durso with a massive save. Defensively, Cincinnati not extending beyond that 12-meter fan. Everyone off ball inside the 8-meter arc, as it should be.
Eight meters out, as close as the Pirates will get that time, and then a foul as Donovan was looking to make a run in transition.
And that's what happens when you lose the ball and you have so many black shirts around it. Cincinnati able to come away with it. Then the foul committed.
For all the latest up-to-the-minute information on your favorite teams,
prompted timeout. 7-goal advantage for Cincinnati. We're talking about Amanda Donovan there at 5'10", the outgoing senior. Now, Coach Thomas refers to having 14 goals as not having many stats, but in general, big picture, she just wanted to convey the fact that there's a lot of things she does that don't show up in the box score.
That's it. So often you see a player, they score goals, they get assists, you look at the point total first and foremost, or you look at the ground balls. But you have players that play good defense, they play good off-ball defense, they communicate. One of the most underutilized parts of the game is communication. Donovan really key in that aspect.
And again, that term glue player, someone who helps, again, pull it all together.
Lacrosse is a team sport. As good as some individuals are, you can't win by yourself. You have to have the players that do the dirty work, that do the little things, that don't show up and get you the notoriety. And those are the players that people love to play with. It's not the ones who score all the goals or the great goalies who save everything. It's the ones who are willing to do whatever it takes to get the win.
Well, ECU is still perfect in the sense that all 8 of their shots have been on goal. The problem is Cincinnati's out shooting them 32-8. 20 of their 32 have been on frame. And of course, of those 20, a dozen have found their way between the pipes.
That, along with ground balls, 14-9 in favor of Cincinnati, and turnovers. ECU's turned it over 16 times, just 8 turnovers committed by the Bearcats.
Draw controls is the one area pretty even in this matchup. Cincinnati with the 11-8 edge. Again, nice game day environment. Great vantage point for all the fans who come out. Whether it be in the fall at Johnson Stadium for soccer or here in the spring for lacrosse. Lincoln Rose, Kip McConico, Marilyn Payne with you along with our American Digital Network crew. Again, next time we'll have the spotlight here on women's lacrosse. It'll be in Cincinnati at Gettler Stadium. Will the Bearcats be invited to their own party at the inaugural conference tournament? Have to imagine that they'll be fighting for one of those top 4 spots.
Certainly so, especially if they're able to pick up the win today to move them to 2-0 to start conference. Coaches will tell you it's not necessarily about going undefeated in conference. It's just about getting in to that conference tournament, then anything can happen.
Again, both the semifinals and the championship will be streamed here on ADN. Great to have you with us today. Had a little bit of rain early on. The weather's held off as that ball just trickles across the goal line. Past White.
That's difficult. As good as White has been in this one, able to get a piece of it, just couldn't keep it out. Luck there on the side of the Bearcats. And a good drive in. Adams able to find the back of the net. White. That's just very difficult for a goalie who's played as well as she has.
And we have talked about Adams, her strong showing today, the sophomore out of York, Pennsylvania.
Adams, one of those players, always contributing, doesn't get the notoriety of Orzillo or Noss, but already 3 goals today.
We need to find some of these announcers who aren't talking about her enough and really encourage them.
Trying to give credit where credit is due, and certainly the case for number 30, Alyssa Adams.
Where can I find some of these announcers? It's always a joy for us to, during the week, check in with the coaches throughout the conference. So easy to talk to because they're such great ambassadors, not just for their universities, but for the sport. Both Coach Thomas and Coach Barnes-Moore so eager to grow the game and not just mold high school players into successful college athletes, but they want them to find success after college as well.
They do, and to use the tools they learned playing this great sport of lacrosse to be successful in life, whatever they go on to do after their collegiate careers. Lacrosse is one of those sports that the people that play it, it's a love, bordering on an addiction. Everyone will say that, the term Laxrat. People just want to be around the game, and that's the case for Coach Moore and Coach Thomas. Successful playing careers, they've chosen to stay with the sport that they love and has given them so much, trying to give back to this next generation of players.
There's a time we would see after the spring sport wrapped up, you would gear up for field hockey in the fall, and then back to lacrosse, rinse and repeat for 4 years, but now lacrosse 24/7 year-round.
So specific. You have the travel teams in the summer. The parents know all about it. Every weekend they're at a different tournament someplace. Players playing wall ball just about every day. Sound that every lacrosse parent knows well.
Down by 8 at the moment, the Pirates.
Cincinnati continues to be disciplined defensively, not biting.
Long pass, but ultimately able to step up and help out her goalie, Amanda Fest there. The midfielder playing back.
Yeah, good look there, able to dish that one just above GLE, and that's a catch that you have to make. Kind of a feast or famine pass. If it's on the money and you're able to come away with it, you're going to have a great shot from inside. But it's the case there. ECU just couldn't collect it and turned it over.
Clock very much on the side of the visitors from Cincinnati, Ohio right now. Midway through the second half. They've had a couple of runs in this match.
Now you see the crank from long range there. About it just dropping the stick.
Milkby thought she saw an opportunity low. Here with Donovan. And White able to get just enough.
Yeah, good to see White with a bounce back save there. Feed inside, right on the doorstep. White there with the point blank save after giving up that tough goal. Shot she got a piece of, but ultimately couldn't keep out the last time down for Cincinnati. ECU unable to get a successful clear. Turns it over in that center third.
House leading the way, but can't connect with Milkby cleanly.
At what point did Cincinnati start to run some clock? It looks like they're taking longer in their offensive sets. It's that fine line of keeping in rhythm offensively, but taking precious seconds off the clock to make that ECU comeback ever more difficult.
Obviously, you entrust a senior here in Donovan. Be able to help dictate the pace and keep everyone organized. Shot clock down to 30. And the Pirates almost able to get out in the clear. And they do, in fact, survive.
Good defense there from ECU. Sticks up, able to knock down that pass. One thing you will hear 1,000 times in your lacrosse career from coaches: sticks up and in passing lanes.
Borzillo trying to make something happen.
Borzillo getting into the act on the ride there. Always good to see attackers, when they lose possession, working as hard, if not harder, to get it back.
Another quick clock issue.
You can score a lot of goals in a short amount of time in this game, but ECU've got to get something going. They'll afford to trade goals at this point.
Remember, it was 8-3 at the half. Pirates have found a pair of goals since then, since emerging from the midway break. Can they dial one up here with Lagar?
Or has to find a goal here.
Knocked down by the neck.
A great job there, able to get a stick in. Fantastic defense from Cincinnati. They've had a much easier save for Durso. Now a transition opportunity for Cincinnati if they elect to press. And wisely just settle things down with an eye on the clock. Disciplined Bearcats team.
Yeah, Bearcats right now guarding against a run from ECU, and your best defense right now is, well, being on offense, possessing that ball, taking advantage of that 90-second clock. Halfway down.
The less ECU has the ball in their sticks, the more difficult the comeback.
No need to enforce what was going to be another opportunity. Borzillo with the strike makes it a moot point.
Borzillo with her 4th of the game. And another team goal there, able to draw the slide off the dodge, a little flip back to Noss. Slide comes to her, wide open. Borzillo, feet set. And that's where your power comes from. You get your feet set, that wide stance, a big step forward, and Borzillo rips it low.
I believe Monica went 5-hole on that one. Able to slip it through the wickets.
Good shooters like to go 5-hole. They like to go low in the cage. They will mix things up. The bounce shots going off stick. Always looking to put it on a pipe.
Milkby this time is going to match up with Borchers. Borchers out of the Houston area, which has its own impressive lacrosse community. You can say the same for the Dallas area as well over there in Texas.
Yeah, some fantastic lacrosse coming out of the Lone Star State, specifically in Houston and Dallas. Great programs there, the 2 largest cities in Texas. We're starting to see a lot of players coming out of Houston, and even more out of Dallas, starting to populate these big-time programs on the East Coast.
See if we can't give a nudge to our Cougar and Mustang friends in the American to join the fun here.
Another draw control. Oh, what a job defensively, and that's exactly what ECU needed. Great takeaway check.
That saved some valuable time.
Cincinnati getting numbers back behind the ball quickly, making it a difficult clear. See the work rate of the women in black.
Blumenthal. ECU today, 3 different goal scorers. Allie Stanton, Sophia LaCicero, each with 2 apiece. While Nicole Lagar's opening goal, her lone goal so far.
There for Lagar, came into the game with 21 goals, 6 assists. Just hasn't been as big a factor as the Pirates would have liked.
Pirates down by 9.
Slide coming quickly. Cincinnati able to get numbers there. A tough look inside. That's a difficult feed. Cincinnati able to claim it.
That was Morgan Duke shutting things down, the defender. Coach Thomas describes Morgan as the nicest player she's ever coached. That's not always a good thing, but then she backed it up by saying, but she plays with attitude.
And she said she's one of those players that can flip the switch off the field. One of the nicest players she's ever coached. Just a joy to be around. She gets between the white lines.
If you're not wearing a Bearcat uniform, you may not be saying please and thank you.
White has done her job in cage.
Noss.
Another ground ball claimed. Time Noss. That comes from Coach Thomas. If that's an emphasis of your program, players know from day one of stepping on campus, we are going to be a team that dominates on the ground balls.
And led the nation last year.
It's a point of pride, certainly a point of emphasis.
As a sport where obviously you can go from trying to read those hops off one artificial surface, then adjust to another artificial surface. Today, the natural grass.
The ground balls are about want to. It's about will. You're going to get slashed. You're going to get checked. It's going to happen. But if you want to get the ground ball, you will figure out a way.
10 saves today, by the way, for Christina White in goal for ECU. You don't want your keeper to have to make 10 saves. But if those shots come on frame, you just assume that stat pile up.
White, a 13.3 goals against average, a 44% save percentage.
11 stops now. The problem is, well, now it's resolved. Pirates finally have it. Inside 9 minutes, down by 9.
That was an opportunity there. They had a numerical advantage. Would like to see them press, try to come up with a transition goal. Cincinnati getting numbers back in the hole quickly. Just over 8 minutes left. Can't take these long, extended offensive sets. If there's a transition chance, gotta push.
Just could not connect. Pirates will get another bite at the apple here. That restricting line doing its job.
Cincinnati content for ECU just to continue to send this one around the outside. Another feed into the top of the crease, and space so tight there. Sometimes better to bring your hands up the stick, get them a little narrower, makes that catch. It's always going to be difficult, but it makes it a little easier when you're in tight.
Well, we talk about ECU taking strides forward as a program. Cincinnati still looking to grow each and every year with Coach Thomas. Really asked what she learned about her program so far this year. She said this is the most consistent she has seen in her tenure in terms of strides forward by a single squad. A lot of that is just all the athleticism she has had the luxury of injecting into the midfield. We ought to see like a 2-6-3 out of it.
Well, that's the thing. When you have that kind of player, that versatility that can play in the midfield, and she says we're midfield heavy. We're proud of that. That was her biggest question coming into the season, was about consistency. Are they going to be able to compete as a team offensively and defensively? They've rose to the task. They've rose to the challenge thus far.
Their motto this year, get green. That's stay in the positive on basically all accounts.
It is, and she says it's mental toughness and positivity. We don't want any negatives. You're going to get down, you're going to concede goals, bad things are going to happen, but if we can keep a positive outlook, just keep going forward, harping on the positives, really looking at the things we do well, everything else will work out. Two very impressive coaches and have done a great job for these programs respectively, Coach Thomas and Coach Moore.
ECU is going to stay at home after today. They will step outside of conference against Duke, then make a trek for a couple of road games in conference play to Gainesville next weekend, and then the week after that to Philadelphia against Temple. They'll close things out with Senior Day against UConn on April 27th. And at that time, we'll know which 4 teams are moving on to the conference tournament here in the inaugural campaign in the American.
A tough slate of games, taking on the Blue Devils and then back to conference play with Florida and Temple on the slate.
Cincinnati jumps right back into conference play, back-to-back home games. Temple and Vanderbilt these next 2 weekends. They're going to have a Senior Day, again, with still a couple games to spare. They'll make a swing through Florida, make the most of their trip to Gainesville. Before playing Florida, they'll play Stetson down there in the Sunshine State. Squeeze in an extra hour of lacrosse on the year.
Cincinnati, they can continue the hot play, the hot start here in the American. That's going to be a great game to wrap up the regular season down in Gainesville against the Gators.
Cincinnati with possession and with the 9-goal advantage. Able to build their lead here in the second half, allowing just 2 second-half goals. That's a big improvement after UConn came fighting back in the second half last weekend against the Bearcats. Cincinnati able to hold them off down the stretch.
ECU is going to have to start gambling a bit defensively. They're really going to have to press out, not just on the ball carrier, but on the adjacents as well. And at some point, they're going to have to start to double the ball. See the women in white now pressing out defensively, trying to cause that turnover.
Sounds good to me. I got to draft you.
We'll confirm Florida did have a commanding victory today over Vanderbilt, 18-9. So Florida starts 2-0 in conference play.
That collision inside. Was able to draw the free position.
Again, the freshman, already so accomplished, Kylie Noss. Again, injured all fall as well to start the season. No excuses. She's made major contributions in her first year, that time off the mark.
Think about that, Noss. Dealing with injuries, now just getting to 100% or close to it fitness-wise. Best players, not just as a freshman, but of any level, any grade level, I should say, in the conference.
Borzillo looking for maybe more. She's mindful if it's not the perfect shot, you just soon take time off the clock.
60 seconds on the clock. Continue to get the off-ball movement. You will find a shot.
As the Pirates have held.
The Pirates in that situation. Zane's inside, just couldn't come up with it.
Zanes, who transferred into the program now past 3 years, vital midfielder for the Bearcats. Mention ECU almost entirely sophomores and freshmen, understandably so. They do have a pair of juniors on the roster, with Schultz and Bowman. Emma Bowman, a pretty significant contributor as an attacker this year.
Already incredible growth from year 1 to year 2 for ECU. That'll just continue. Young players getting better each and every time out.
See if they can find some positives here in the final minutes.
Good look in, but Cincinnati closing down quickly.
Looking for that top left 90 of the cage.
Lagar trying to rip a rope. It's one of those shots you practice in your backyard. You just flip it up to yourself, pull it back, and try to pull it to a top corner.
How many times did your family have to replace your backyard fence?
More than they would have liked. That's the case in Lacrosse. There are a lot of fences, unfortunately some windows.
As shot clock expired before the Pirates could finally fire it on frame.
Good stuff there defensively from Cincinnati, holding, and their discipline on defense continues to be outstanding. They know where they need to be. They don't overcommit. They don't chase stick. They keep in tight. They play body. They force ECU to beat them, not the other way around.
Open space. As the Bearcats likely just a couple possessions away from improving to 2-0. And they will remain tied atop the standings, at least with Florida. And on a 5-game conference schedule, a 2-0 start.
And the defense continues their impressive performances. They've allowed 9 or fewer goals in their past 3 opponents, all victories. Been able to hold the Pirates to 5.
Approaching the final 3 minutes here in Greenville.
Huge contact there, easy call from the officials.
So Adams brings it back out. Alyssa this year 10 for 13 from the free position.
Sophomore 3 goals today. Chance to make it 4, that would tie Borzillo.
Another answer from White.
Sophomore from Mount Airy, Maryland. What a job she has done. The bedrock of that Pirates defense. You can certainly see why. Big save after big save. Considering she's faced 27 shots today.
Another one halted by the sophomore. So Cincinnati and Florida will be your top 2 teams after the first 2 weeks of conference play, as the Gators hand Vanderbilt just their 3rd loss of the year for the Commodores. Again, both Florida and Vanderbilt, just as they were in the Big East, affiliate members here in the American, along with UConn, Temple, and these 2 programs. Only 2 teams will be at 2-0. Moving on to next week.
First time we've obviously seen either one of these teams this year, and impressed with both, particularly so with Cincinnati. It is a complete team, offense, defense, in the cage. Do all the little things right. They ride, get the ground balls, they back up shots.
A reminder, if you don't already follow on Twitter the account for American Women's Lacrosse, that's American_WLAX. Great place to find highlights from the game and relive some of your favorite moments from today. That goes for both Bearcats and Pirates highlights.
Borzillo just able to contort her body. Not the fastest, not the strongest, but she's a lacrosse player. In lacrosse, it's not all about having those measurables, the 40-second time and what you can do. If you can play, if you have the stick and you understand how to get open and create shots, it will be lethal in this sport.
Cincinnati can take things down to the final half minute. And one last bit of color coming into things. A little bit of mustard for the Bearcats for a dangerous shot. See what the Pirates have in mind here for the final half minute.
You know they'd like to find another goal in this game on a high note.
Well, excited to see what the future holds for this up-and-coming Pirates program, just now in the midst of its 2nd season. They scored the first goal of the day. The Bearcats would manage a couple of runs. It would all add up, and Cincinnati's going to improve to 2-0. ECU looking for one final highlight. With about 6 ticks on the clock to spare. Looking for a positive here from, again, see if Pennypacker handles it. As the freshman will go wide. Final seconds melting down. There's the buzzer. Bearcats with their first win on the road, and more importantly, Cincinnati now 2-0, tied for first place in the American.
Big victory by the Bearcats, 2-0 in the conference, pick up their first road win. Went down early, ECU with the first goal, but a quick response and emphatic by the Bearcats. 44 shots for Cincinnati, 29 of them on goal.
Congratulations to Coach Gina Thomas's squad. Bearcats matched their program's best win total. Still plenty of games left, but have already dialed up their 8th win on the year. More importantly, again, 2-0 in the American. For our entire ADN crew, Marilyn Payne and Kit McConico, I'm Lincoln Rose. Bearcats take this one, 14-5 on the road in Greenville.